step in and kind of be one of the main front court guys immediately in practice.
Yeah, and I really have. And like I was saying earlier, I'm in there trying to tell them, what to do. Where at the same time I have to keep my ears open because I'm still learning what to do. We're going over the post-to-post screen yesterday, and the Indiana guards is a completely different way. So I was, trying to explain to them, how to bump the guy on the screen and get out to your man, the switching patterns. But at the same time, I was like, hang on a sec, I got to take like 10 seconds and look at this because they do it a completely different way. So it's just little things like that you encounter every day that you can't let pass you up because if you let yourself go to an old tendency and not what Coach Crean wants, you can be in a game where I'm making the wrong move and it can really come back to haunt us. So it's a little different.
What's impressed you the most so far? Getting a chance to practice with Thomas, work out with him. How can he help Indiana?
I think Thomas is, there's a reason he's a McDonald's All-American. He is just extremely talented. He has a better shot than I thought he did, and he's getting better with that every day. He has that ability to make those freak athlete plays. He has a 7'6" wingspan, which comes as surprising. You see a 6'10" guy, you think you can get around him. And all of a sudden, it's like Mr. Incredible, or not Mr. Incredible, Mr. Fantastic, where the arm just kind of keeps going. You're like, oh shoot, you got to kind of get around it. So, just his ability to grow on the foundation he has is just being a big, talented, guy that's been around the game and knows what he's doing. That's probably the most unique thing.
I know you've only been there a couple of months, but the leadership's been obviously talked about a lot, and kind of guys growing up off the court. How have you seen that kind of develop at all since you've been on campus? And does it seem like guys are taking that pretty seriously?
Yeah, I think with the struggles we went through this summer off the court, we definitely have developed. We definitely matured very quick. You can see it in the freshmen especially; they've just matured so fast. And all these teams are trying to express their freshmen right now, how to do things and how to do all this, and sometimes they just don't get it. And I've seen from my 3 years being an upperclassman in Michigan to being an upperclassman here now, the freshmen, it's clicked in a lot of them kind of what it takes, and it's the work ethic you need, and how to stay out of trouble, and it's really unique. If they can keep that up and keep that mentality, they'll be really scary when they start really growing up.
Talked to Coach Beilein over there for a little bit, just about you and your time at Michigan, and he mentioned that you were really never fully healthy when you were there. How are you feeling now from a health perspective, and kind of where do you feel like you can grow as a player?
Yeah, so I got hip surgery right before my senior year last year, and it completely changed my game. Especially my freshman year in particular, I was playing with constant pain with my hip and my knee, and every cut, jump, land would just it would hurt pretty bad, and I finally got that done, and it really you could see it change my game. I was playing a lot more as a complete player last year. I was able to do more things on the floor. I didn't have games where I was coming in being sore, like almost hoping that the next day I would be able to play as well as I did the day before because I was in pain. So that's probably the biggest thing.
One thing you guys really did well at Michigan was win on the road in the Big Ten. A lot of programs struggle with that. Indiana obviously struggled there last year.
Yeah.
What can you tell the younger guys and some of these other guys returning, like the keys to kind of being successful? And obviously you're going to sold-out arenas every night.
Sure. I'd say the biggest thing for the younger guys is to not get caught up with all the hype. If we have a turnover and they have a dunk and they're bringing the pressure on and we have another turnover or something, realize that even the crowd may seem like the game's about to be over and it's going to be the end of the world. To kind of like look at things for a second, see the big picture, and how all right, there's still 10 minutes left. Just relax, take a breath. I know the crowd's kind of making you feel antsy and to get your blood boiling, but you just got to be able to just kind of relax in that moment. Take a breath and just to kind of do things that we know how to do.
What's impressed you the most about Yogi? Getting a chance to see him up close, different perspective than playing against him.
I'd say the most impressive thing is just his ability. He's unlike any player I've seen as far as his size and his quickness and what he's able to do. He just had a dunk over one of our strength coaches who was playing defense the other day that was just out of this world. I think the video got out and it's like, oh my gosh, you see this guy walking down the street, you wonder if he can touch net.
Yeah.
And you see that, and you're like, wow, he's definitely a freak at what he does, and he's a really special player.
What will it be like for you going back and playing at Michigan? Is that going to be, obviously from talking to you, it seems like you had a really positive experience there. You obviously have a lot of friends there, but going back to play there, what's that going to be like?
Yeah, the funny thing is I'm going back with a completely positive attitude. Everything I gained from that university, I take with a positive light. All the friends I made, the experiences I had, I wouldn't change them. I wouldn't change anything. As far as me going back, though, it's these passionate fans, may see it differently. I think, just like the cheers I got my senior day and how great everything was, that compared to my first step back in there, I feel like I've joked around with my friends saying, I'm going to walk in there and everyone's going to kind of be quiet, like looking for someone to take the lead. Like, what do we do? Do we boo? Do we not say anything? And I feel like one person's going to boo and everyone's going to be like, okay, boo. We'll all start booing them.
Well, it could be a cheer first, and then the first time you get on the ball for a rebound, it could be a boost.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see though.
Thank you. Appreciate it.